So I said it's going to be about a week or two before I upload anything. I think I'm wrong. I'm going to actually record the whole process of me putting together the stand that she's going to be sitting on. And like I said, like I said in the previous video, she's fairly close to being done, but I need to build the stand. So I messaged the guy again that did the posing, and he made a very simple little box form for me to use to properly get the stand at the right height it needs to be. So this little simple box right here is how high the stand needs to be off the ground so she can properly be sitting right and have the skirt not be completely just dragging on the ground like it would. The skirt will still be dragging on the ground, but I'm going to spray paint the inside, and I'm probably going to put some type of clear tape or something on the bottom, that way so when the skirt is dragging, it doesn't rough up the paper and whatnot as badly as it would if it was just raw paper on the carpet or concrete or whatever I'll be running her around on at the conventions I'll be going to. Mostly carpet, but every now and then I'll be outside, so I'll be dragging on asphalt, concrete, and stuff like that too. So what do I gotta do? Well, I gotta print out one of these little sections here to get the proper scaling right. So I'm just going to print out this little piece right here. Heck, all I really need to do is I just need to print out this one little wall section right here, and that's it. I can't go and physically cut it because I didn't ask for that. I just wanted a very simple piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go here, edit flap shape, so the flaps are incredibly small. Boom, boom. And then I'm just going to take all this and just pull it and just drag it off to a different section of here that I don't need. Move it to like this. Take this, move it off so I don't have to overprint crap. And just try not to use as much paper as I can. And all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to hit print, put all this together, then make a small foam board box just like this using this little simple piece, and then I'll come back. Alright, so I made this little simple triangle to the height of the sheet I printed out right there. I got my helper cat in the box. And I got this to where I can figure out if it is the proper height. And if I go and put this on the ground, then I'm going to go grab Kongou. Never mind, she's being a bit ornery and doesn't want to sit on the thing to show you that it's proper height, but it is. It's actually about like 1.5 inches short, which is a good thing for what I'm doing, because it will allow for a proper clearance when I actually go to add the 2 scooter wheels to the back and the caster wheel in the front. The only thing I gotta get from the hardware store is a pole to actually stick the caster wheel through, so the caster wheel can actually have something to grip onto. So I know that I know now that this is the proper height. So now what I need to do is I need to go and figure out how long and how wide to actually make the stand that she's going to be sitting on. Because with the way the skirt is designed, the width can only be a certain width due to the skirt will be blocking it. So I gotta make it a certain width, and I also gotta make it a certain length. So I'm probably gonna make it basically from where the legs here do the 90-degree angle to about maybe here or so. Because I have to go in there, because this is actually going to basically go from what it is right now, which is like this. It's going to go like this, basically with the skirt. So I'm going to also have to cut into the foam board when I actually go to finish out the skirt, because I'll just be making the stand just a straight edge until I figure out how much of a cut into the foam board I have to do, which will be later on down the road. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to figure out how to I'm going to figure out how to properly form the base she's going to sit on. So I'll come back when I get that figured out. Alright, so I got the top piece situated. So now I got to figure out how exactly am I going to shape it. So what I need to do is I need to shape it in a way to where I can add the two scooter wheels and the caster wheel, and also have room for the RC car. The problem is that the length of it is basically that of the RC car. And to get the caster wheel to work, I'm going to have to move the car back some or remove these little guards right here, which I might actually end up doing for this particular build. My current idea for the to get the car to fit properly is to just move the car back slightly. That way, so a little bit is poking out the back, but to where I can easily cover it up. But also to where it'll still have enough room for the caster wheels at the sides to do their, the scooter wheels to do their side, on the side to do their job, and same thing with the caster wheel being up in front. And as you can tell, this is very, very thin. It's thinner than what the car is. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to figure out how wide I actually want to make it. And also both for the car so it can fit properly, and for stability, because she will be held on by magnets. But if I made it this thin, it would fall over so easily. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it as wide as a single sheet of foam board right here. And I already cut off basically how tall it needs to be, and this is how tall it needs to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it look nice, I'm going to make it actually look somewhat nice. I'm going to make it a certain amount of length this way, that way so the skirt and whatnot doesn't get in the way of it. And then what I'm going to do is that once I figure out how long I'm going to make this, I'm just going to go like this. It's still going to be big and boxy, but at least it won't look big. At least it won't look so stupid. So I'm going to go and figure that out, and I'll come back. Alright, so here is the design I came up with. Enough is over here, or enough is here, so the skirt doesn't get in the way. But I also have this nice little sloping area here, so that'll casually go to this and won't look like an ugly box. And I also have it just wide. I also have it just tall enough to where I can hot glue the scooter wheels to it without it actually causing any problems with the wheels getting caught in the foam board and whatnot. Now when it comes to actually placing these scooter wheels in, they're going to go into about like this far in and whatnot, that way so they don't, or maybe this far in, I don't know which yet, because I need to make it so the actual foam that will be holding these wheels in doesn't collapse under the weight. Because even though this is just a piece of foam, even though this is just paper and it's only like a few pounds, it'll be going over all sorts of crap and in a lot of forces. So I gotta make sure the connections that are holding these wheels on, and both the scooter wheels and this caster wheel, I gotta make sure the connections are stable, are not stable, but sturdy. Well, yeah, stable too. And I also need to make sure that the foam board is actually able to reduce the load on itself. So I gotta make sure that I have a load bearing. I know exactly what I need to do. I just need to actually build it to show what I'm talking about. Because it's one of the things I have to do with these things too, is figure out how the load is going to actually act on the frame, and I need to build the frame accordingly so the frame doesn't collapse under load and whatnot. Hence why I'm still a little bit skittish about the connections between the top part of Kongou and the bottom part of Kongou. I still need to go in there and probably do a little bit more reinforcements, even though for right now she's doing just fine. And of course that's because she's just sitting here just looking out the window. But the instant I start like putting her on this thing, moving her around, there'll be all sorts of forces going on her, and I have no idea how they're going to react. Or I mean how the superstructure for her is going to react and whatnot. And I'll end this part by saying, this is going to be a relatively long video. I will be actually uploading this one in full because I do want to show my process on building something like a stand right here, because this is something I can actually show in a full video and not just this thing where I can just do like simple 3-4 minute updates on showing where I got in a single day. So I'll come back when I get some more of this figured out. So for a while I thought I was going to be dead in the water because I couldn't find a way to or find something I can use as axles to attach the tires to attach the wheels to the base. And then I found out these little mechanical pencils I got fit in the holes just fine. So the only thing I gotta do now is I just gotta lubricate the bearings, because the original owner of the scooter that I took apart never lubricated the bearings, so they don't spin freely like the scooter wheels I used to have, which I have no idea where they went to. So I'm going to go and lube these things and attach them to the base. Alright, so when it comes to simplicity, this is more or less how I built the stand for Miku years ago. It's very simple, held on together. The reinforcements are simple popsicle sticks and whatnot. And underneath is just the axles hot glued directly to the foam board via an indentation that I cut out. So relatively speaking, this is more or less done. I still have to go in there and make the place for the RC car to sit, and I gotta mount the caster wheel up here in the front and whatnot. But once I do that, then I can start the whole process of reinforcing this bottom plate. Because as of right now, if I put a little bit of pressure on, you can easily see it bending. Now if I went and just normally put it together with her actually sitting on it, it would be just fine. But since I want to make sure everything's nice and sturdy, I need to go and properly reinforce it. So once I figure out the height that this thing needs to be, I'm going to actually start building the box that the RC car is going to sit in. Alright, got the front caster wheel installed. You can get the general idea and shape of the actual stand that she's going to be sitting in. Yeah, it's just big and bulky, but at least it's a little bit more better than the stand I made a while back for a little Miku I made. Now of course with these, I've yet to hot glue these in because I'm still working on the inside still. I still have to add some little covers around the wheels so whenever this thing rolls around, whatever these wheels pick up don't actually get caught inside, don't get lodged inside the actual base here. So that's the reason why I'm keeping these open. And also when it comes to this thing being done, these will be centered in, but there will be a nice little open area on both sides, so I can easily get inside here and work on stuff and whatnot if something goes wrong or something like that. So as you can tell, the caster wheel just is placed into a little PVC pipe, and said PVC pipe is hot glued to the front wall of the stand here. The reason why I haven't added in any reinforcements yet is because I want to build that box that the RC car is going to sit in, and then actually have the reinforcements for this actually go right to that little box the RC car is going to be in. Because that little bit of a distance will be more than enough to properly secure this little pole together and whatnot. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a break, give myself some food, and actually do a little bit of something else before I come back. So I'll come back a little bit later on. Actually, before I go and do that, I want to show what Kongou looks like on the actual base. As you can tell, she's definitely a lot less taller now when she's on her base, but at least she can sit on it. And theoretically, I could even push her around, and I can. Now, of course, I don't have any magnets on here yet, so I'm being very cautious. Once I get magnets on here, if the RC car I use is dead, I can easily just push her around just like this. And the reason why I'm going to be doing it like this is because that big old skirt's going to be back there and whatnot, so I really can't put any poles back there. So I'm going to have to push her around like this. But for right now, she seems to be, the stand itself is coming along relatively fine. Alright, so I got the shell around the car that will actually be sliding into the base whenever I want to drive it around via RC. So basically, I mean, it's a very simple box. Of course, here's my RC car. It's held on by hot glue. And the pins right here that you normally hold the body on are more than sufficient to hold the car in place. Now this is foam board, so this will eventually wear out. But that's the nice thing about foam board. I can easily rebuild this thing again when this thing decides to give out. And plus I'll probably need to even go in there and readjust the little pins here, or the little holes where the little thing pops out. So all I gotta do now is I gotta figure out how exactly I'm gonna put it inside there so it works properly. And I'll come back when I get all that figured out. So this is the design for the RC car to sit inside the little base. So I made this little cage around it. There are two very powerful rare earth magnets. I decided to use two of those in this hold the car in. This is enough to actually hold the whole thing in, and it's all I need. It's jutting out of the back slightly, but there's nothing I can do about that. But due to the way the dress is designed, the dress will actually be covering up this whole section right here. So I'll be good. So I'll be good to go in the end. But as you can tell, this is fairly basic and fairly simple and fairly intricate at the exact same time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wait for the hot glue to finish. I'm going to wait for the hot glue gun to dry. I mean, not dry, but heat up also, because I got to still cement this magnet into place, because this magnet has a lot more power than those little bitty magnets I've been using in the past. So I have to make sure this thing is cemented into the foam board, so it doesn't just go flying off somewhere if something magnetic comes by. So I'm going to finish getting that thing sunk into the foam board, and then go outside and see what this thing drives like. Alright, so I'm out here going to show what this thing drives like. First I want to talk about my little RC car. The nice thing about the controller that this thing came with is that I had the ability to flip where this little wheel is. So all I did is I went and flipped it, and I flipped the steering so it's in reverse, so it's neutral instead of reverse. That way, so now I can give it throttle and actually steer it at the exact same time. Well, it definitely has power. I don't think I'll have any problems pushing her around at my local conventions. The other thing I really got worried about now is the battery life, because I have no idea how long the battery for the RC car will last when it's carrying this much weight. Granted, it's really not carrying it because it's being supported by the 3 wheels, but it's pushing weight, or if anything else. Okay, this is also very sketchy, but I also went and tested Kongou on this thing. As it stands right now, it fully works. I can fully steer, I can control it all the way I want. So when it comes to my previous build, this one's going to have the most presence of any build, especially considering it can literally move on its own. And I'm not giving it much power to go. And I'm only giving it this much, and it's already going. So this little car has more than enough power to run this thing. Alright, got all the sides on. I haven't hot glued these on yet because I still want to go in there and pop them off for when I'm attaching the magnets. I'm gonna be cutting window into each of these black side panels right here, so I can have an area, so I can have a nice little place to open up and work on the inside if something goes wrong down below. I still got to put all the magnets and whatnot on here so she can properly stay on there. I got one magnet right here already attached, which is underneath the foam. I'm going to be also adding a few more magnets on her legs, that way so she actually stays put. Because right now she's fairly, she moves around quite a bit. Mainly right here, so I gotta really make sure this little area here does not do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of these two very powerful rare earth magnets. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick the one big one to the base right here. I'm not going to cut it. I'm not going to cut any foam on or anything. I'm just going to hot glue it to the base, and then it's going to be that, and then two popsicle stick before the other magnet, because those things, because again, those magnets are incredibly difficult, or not difficult, but they're incredibly powerful. So what I'm going to do to actually facilitate that is I'm going to pull this piece off, rebuild it again, but have the magnet in there that way, so it's incorporated into this. And then I'm also going to make sure this thing is more properly secured to this section here, because this part won't be seen by the average viewer. So I can go in there and just add all sorts of freaking hot glue and whatnot to make sure this section here is all nice and properly attached. Well, maybe, well, it will be seen like from here, maybe. Depends on how the dress goes, but it shouldn't be. But if it is, I'll just mark it black or something. But yeah, for now I'm pretty much done with this. I've been working on this thing since 10 a.m. and it's nearly 7 p.m. now. So I've been working on this thing non-stop for a while. So I'm beat and I want to rest. Since I'm at a stopping point now in this build, I think I'll just end it here. The reason why I'm at a stopping point is because I had to figure out the actual size of these little AB magnets I got and order them off Amazon. But I'm having a hard time. I'm having a hard time figuring out the proper diameter of these little magnets. But with that said, I wanted to stop this video on this right here. I decided to actually make the little box that the car is supposed to sit in whenever it's in the stand into its own little mini project, because this thing, driving this thing around as a little box like this is at least to me interesting, or at least fun, because when I'm driving it around, the front end is nearly lifting off the ground, and that's without the spoiler right here. I decided to add the spoiler and whatnot to see if I can actually get the front end to fully lift off the ground. It has yet to do that, but that's due to it not having the power needed. It only goes 30 miles per hour. I am planning on upgrading this car to a brushless setup because the brushed motor setup, which you can clearly see is right here, it has the power to drive her around, but it's a bit sketchy. So if I can get a brushless motor into this thing to give it more power for the exact same amount of for the exact same battery that's in it, I'll gladly upgrade this thing to brushless. And also, with the way this box is designed, like I said previously, a little bit of the box is sticking out. So I'm able to put this RC car setup into the stand here, and it doesn't impede in the way the stand works and whatnot. So let me go and do that right now. And as you can tell, it doesn't impede the stand at all. It looks weird, but also when this thing is completed, or when Kongou is completed, this whole section here will be covered up by her cape, so this won't even be seen, hence why I'm leaving it like this. So the last things I gotta do is I gotta add more magnets to it, get the magnets, and then I can finally finish off this stand by putting it together completely, spray painting it and whatnot. So like I said, I still got a while to go, but it's probably going to be at least another few days before I can actually really start working on this stand again. So I'll just end the video here, and just to say I actually had a decent well, not really much of a decent upload, just a upload that I'm a little bit more proud of.